of people are wondering if this new tokenized stock movement that we're seeing from these different companies in crypto bringing stocks to the blockchain is going to segment liquidity so much to disrupt the altcoin cycle. I think it's going to become a piece of the altcoin cycle. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my ideology and how I've structured my traditional and my crypto portfolio to not go against each other and segment and fragment the liquidity and gains, but to actually work together by combining my portfolios in a way where I have exposure to the best niches in both crypto and stocks. And I think we can ride this up together this cycle. So this is going to be a pretty high level overview of how I've put my capital into the traditional and crypto markets and the niches that I'm isolating as AI or exchanges or Bitcoin, whatever the case is. Any narrative that pops up throughout this cycle, we will be prepared for, because we will have exposure to these niches in both the traditional and crypto markets with a coordinated portfolio and a correlated portfolio. So let's go ahead and jump into it. And before we jump into it, guys, be sure to drop down below, hit that like button, and subscribe to the channel for more every single day and every week here on In The Game. We have you covered from all of the alpha you need in crypto, from AI coins, RWA, gaming, meme coins, and more. Be sure to like and subscribe down below. And a big shout out to our sponsors here on In The Game. We have some incredible sponsors from 𝗪𝗶𝗆𝗇𝗏, and 𝗪𝗏𝗡𝗏 Labs. And also, if you need a place that's no KYC, that you can have a decentralized option to trade both crypto and the new on-chain stock narrative, head over to Nexus. I'll leave a link down below in the description. You can trade over 200 crypto pairs, but on top of that, you can trade different equities markets like the main stock market in the US, major stocks, Forex, as well as gold and silver. So check out Nexus down below in the description. And also, trading on Nexus will give you volume towards the hyper liquid airdrop round 2. So check that out down below in the description. Let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Bitcoin's pumping today. I mean, obviously, we're not really talking about the market as a sense of, what coins I'm aping into today in this video. However, you guys already know that if you follow the channel. I talk about the coins that I'm very bullish on every single day, and you're going to see them whenever we get over to the stock and crypto tandem portfolio. But right now, the market's looking really good. I think that this push could get us back to all-time highs here whenever it comes to Bitcoin. I mean, we're just looking absolutely phenomenal here, up 3% on the daily. And then just scrolling down, we see hyper liquid around that $40 level. Those buys we were putting in on 𝗬𝗍 around 250 are looking nice, as 𝗬𝗍 is up 10% today. Those $17 levels were great as well on Avalanche, which is sitting at $18 and about 50 cents today. We see stuff like Neural AI and Altura bouncing up about 30% each here. We see 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪, 𝗪𝗏𝗪. So a lot of good movement here actually in the altcoin market today. But obviously, we're nowhere near an alt season. At the end of the day, Bitcoin dominance up here at the top, still up at 64.5%. But when you look at the overall market right now, I don't think there's a way you can be humanly bullish or bearish. I don't think that there's a bear path out there, right? Unless something just cataclysmic happens and the markets just absolutely nuke. We're looking at a Bitcoin gold rush. Every institution wants more and more Bitcoin. We see utility coins and revenue generators moving up the chain of command as far as priority. And on top of that, now that stocks are tokenized, I think this adds even more of a layer to that. As we mentioned on yesterday's video, I think stocks coming on chain actually amplify utility coins and coins that are actually profitable and drive revenue for their business and their users. So I think that's a massive paradigm shift back into utility coins. And then on top of that, we do see potential rate cuts on the way, with retail interest not even here yet. If you're just looking across the board from bull market views to what we're at now, it's like half, if that. It's like a quarter of those views. So at this point in time, retail is still not even participating. And if you were to tell someone that Bitcoin's at all-time highs or around those levels or even over 100K, most people would probably be shocked. And we just see day by day that big companies and big institutions keep flocking into crypto. $300 billion Japanese tech giant Mitsubishi to add Bitcoin trading to 100 million user reward points app. And this is actually built using an Avalanche L1. We saw more and more news today. It's almost daily. I usually show these buys on the show, but it's just becoming secondhand. Like, Every day, a new company adds Bitcoin to their balance sheet, and this is not slowing down. The smart money across crypto is accumulating, and across business in general. I do think Bitcoin is the best performing asset over the next coming years, hands down. And then on top of that, we see stuff coming to the chain like the upcoming DeFi protocol, Black Hole. I know a lot of questions about when this airdrop will occur. I don't know a date. I wish I could give you guys more information. However, whenever this platform goes live, you will know it. I'll give you info on how to qualify or make sure that you can claim your tokens, but also more importantly, give a step-by-step walkthrough of how to use and how to make money using the Black Hole platform. But for this video specifically, I want to talk about why I think that this on-chain stock movement actually provides you a good opportunity. So as I showed a tweet yesterday from 𝗪𝗿𝗻𝗪 that says that on-chain or Degen stocks could be now a part of the altcoin cycle as we move from Bitcoin to on-chain stocks that are degenerate. And then we have ETH and then altcoins, etc. That liquidity flow downward could be affected by this new on-chain tokenized stock mechanism that has been launched by Robinhood, X stocks, by Nexus, etc. All the platforms that now allow you to buy and trade stocks on chain. But I do think most things are going to come on chain, right? As we see here, potentially houses on chain, gaming on chain, stocks on chain, art, data, money, the everything on chain cycle. That is what this is shaping up to be at this point in time. And I actually think you need to look at these stock options in the market as a complement to your altcoin portfolio. And obviously, this is nothing new. I think you should have a traditional portfolio regardless, aside from your crypto portfolio. Like if you don't have, on a high level, if you don't have like a Roth IRA or something like that, you're contributing to every year and just getting involved, or just an account that you DCA every week into different stocks that you're very bullish on. This gives you an opportunity to use your on-chain funding to buy complementary stocks in each niche. And I think that's a good way to look at this whenever it comes to the on-chain stocks mechanism. So whether you're buying the stocks that I'm going to talk about on-chain or in your traditional Charles Schwab account, I think this is a good way to mediate that exposure between these stocks, which are, a lot of them are just performing tremendously well at this point in time, and how to have them complement your altcoins in similar niches, as usually when AI stocks are doing well, AI coins are doing well. Whenever we've seen these different things, that is typically correlated, right? When Bitcoin is pumping, typically we see MicroStrategy pumping. So I think you use this in tandem in your traditional and your crypto portfolios. So I have 5 niches here just to simplify this for you in this video. And you can notice here the niches that I'm going to go over for a stock and crypto tandem are exchanges, AI, Bitcoin exposure, tech, and also RWA and real estate. Obviously, for stock purposes, I'm not putting gaming in here because gaming stocks have not been doing the best over the last few years. Now, maybe it could be a great opportunity when the gaming industry does pick up steam again. However, I don't think it's something you should be reaching at. So I still have gaming altcoins in my traditional crypto portfolio. However, in this example where we're having complementary niche-based different stocks and cryptos, I think that that's kind of out of the ballpark. We don't need to be investing in gaming stocks at this point in time. So, and also memes. What would I put as a meme? Like, there's just no way. So I've eliminated memes and gaming from this because there's no stock market tandems to combine those with. And I think this first example is going to make a whole lot of sense for people if you're not understanding, like, what do you mean by correlated or coordinated stock and crypto pairs? So for me, if you are investing in an exchange token, and you hold Hyperliquid, let's just say. So let's just go look at Hype. Obviously, Hype has been one of the absolutely most killer altcoins this cycle, as it has risen from $8 up to 40. And I think that this goes to $100 over the course of the year. So if you're banking on something like a Hyperliquid, but maybe you don't have stocks or you don't have exposure to certain assets in the stock market, I think a good Degen pairing for that is Robinhood and Coinbase. Why is that? Well, Robinhood just launched, obviously, their Robinhood chain, the tokenized stocks. They're going all in on crypto, and they are the #1 retail app in the world. So if you are bullish on holding an exchange token like Hyperliquid, I think you have to be looking at stuff like Robinhood and Coinbase, 2 of the highest profitable profitability companies in all of crypto. I mean, that's hands down, and I think that's an easy way to start this. So if you didn't understand quite what I mean, by using these in tandem, like we're seeing Robinhood hit new all-time highs almost every single day. Coinbase is hovering all-time highs. We have Hyperliquid hovering all-time highs. So these are all kind of running in a tandem because they make so much revenue that it's irresistible from an investment perspective. So now moving on to AI, some coins that you could be looking at in this niche: 𝗏, Render, Neural, 𝗧𝗏𝗃𝗍, and Desync. Those are 5 AI altcoins that I love. And I mean, we see Neural up 30% today, which is looking fantastic. We have 𝗏 and Render, which just simply lead the market. You guys know, I think 𝗏 is probably my #1 AI altcoin this cycle. I really wouldn't be surprised if we see above all-time highs by the end of this year, which is over $730. But more so, I would be aiming for $1,000 per token on the 𝗏 token. So if you're bullish on AI coins, these are obviously low-hanging fruit, but for me, I would keep it simple. NVIDIA, #1 company in the world, this stock just continues to perform, and if the price gets up there where it was before, they're just going to do a stock split to make it more accessible, and then the price is going to keep going up. The way that they've structured this has been absolutely insanely profitable. So I'd be looking at NVIDIA. Palantir, I think, is the most undervalued AI token. I call it a token, AI stock in the market. I think Palantir still has so much upside from here. And if I'm betting on a single stock from ROI perspectives from today to the future, I think this might be #1 on the entire list alongside Robinhood. Like, I think even though Robinhood is at all-time highs, they recently IPO'd, so you can't even really take that into perspective. So Robinhood and Palantir so far, I think, are the best buys as of today in the Degen stock market. And then third is Microsoft. And you might be wondering, well, Hustle, why is Microsoft not in the tech niche? Well, the reason being is Microsoft is the only stock that really has affiliations with OpenAI, aka Sam Altman's ChatGPT. So for me, I'd be looking at Microsoft in the AI bubble because right now there's no direct way to invest in OpenAI. So NVIDIA, Palantir, and Microsoft are great complementary stocks. And so far, all 5 of these you can buy on chain, whether you do it on Nexus or Xstocks or whatever the case is. These are all accessible on the blockchain. So you don't even have to run through the loopholes of KYC and all that good stuff. You can just buy these on chain with existing liquid capital, maybe in stable coins, or if you want to pivot some of your coins on the lower end of the spectrum into some of these, it'd be a great way to balance out your portfolio from traditional and crypto. But not only that, you're keeping it pretty degen. With these AI is the hottest niche, like it's an AI bull market. And then on top of that, the exchange coins that we have listed so far. Moving on down to Bitcoin, obviously, Bitcoin exposure is massive. And I think that people, look, if you're not already exposed to Bitcoin, which, you know, we're sitting at 109,000 as of today, I think you have to form a strategy of how to get Bitcoin exposure as I listed here. So the niche here is Bitcoin exposure. So maybe you don't have the portfolio size to be like, okay, I'm going to go buy a bunch of Bitcoin and then I can still space out across altcoins. Maybe you only have $5,000 in crypto, $10,000 in crypto. At that point, like holding a couple grand of Bitcoin isn't really going to get you to your goals. However, any Bitcoin exposure is super important. In my opinion, you should be buying Bitcoin regardless of your size because it's going to be worth so much in the future that it's just a no-brainer to have in your portfolio. However, if that's just not in your ballpark and you're like, look, Hustle, I got $500. I want to put into crypto. Then definitely I wouldn't go buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. I mean, your gains, you know, over the course of time just aren't going to be up to par on what you're looking for. However, you could look at the traditional markets because there's tons of different coins. I call them coins again because I'm such a degen. Tons of different stocks that give you exposure to Bitcoin. MicroStrategy, obviously, they are the biggest Bitcoin holders in the world. When Bitcoin goes up, typically, by logical perspectives, MicroStrategy goes up. If you're a little more of a degen here, you could do the yield-bearing MicroStrategy, and this is like a dividend stock. Over the last year, it's paid out over 100% on your money, which is insane because of the market that Bitcoin's been in. So MSTY is a dividend stock. You could accumulate it. It's like 1/10 of the price of normal MicroStrategy, maybe more. It's like 20 something dollars, but it pays you out every single month based on trading the stock of MicroStrategy. So it's very risky, but that's what this is about, right? We're trying to find as parallel of Degen plays from these different niches. And if you're not in the position to accumulate Bitcoin because of your portfolio size, MicroStrategy or 𝗪𝗔 could be great second options. We also have 𝗕𝗟𝗅𝗙𝗅, which is the 𝗪𝗡21 from Jack Mallers, and then MetaPlanet. I do like MetaPlanet as far as a Bitcoin treasury company, but for me, I'd be focused on MicroStrategy, 𝗪𝗔, and then maybe you could go down into CEP, but for me, I would just be focusing on accumulating MicroStrategy because it moves very similarly to Bitcoin, and then 𝗪𝗧 for those degen yields. Also, that dividend payment is nice, and you can redistribute that either into the same play or into any other thing that you want. And everyone wants to build a dividend stock portfolio, and if you're in crypto, 𝗪𝗧 is a pretty good start for something like that. Moving into tech. So when I'm talking tech and crypto, usually this just means the blockchain, right? We're all here for the tech, right? No one's here for the money. We're all here for the tech, as the joke goes. But in all reality, the tech is everything. Without tech, none of these companies like Hyperliquid or Tau or different ththings across the chain could even function, right? And I'm not going to put Ethereum in here because I think Ethereum's market cap is just so high. And I mean, you're going to get a few X's on your Ethereum. That's fine. And I'm not an Ethereum hater. I hold Ethereum, but it's just one of those things. I think other plays have been a little more innovative over the course of time. Stuff like 𝗬𝗍, Arbitrum, which powers the Robinhood chain. We have 𝗬𝗍, which is involved with Pokemon at such a high level. We have Avalanche with BlackRock, Citibank, multiple big institutions getting involved. And then Solana, of course, is literally like the casino layer of crypto, but that comes down to the tech. It's very fast. It's easy to use. It's easy to onboard. So whenever you're looking at that in a stock perspective, I would just simple it into Meta and Apple. We already have Microsoft up in that AI category, which I think it fits much better there. But whenever you look at it, 𝗬𝗍 is ex-Meta, ex-Apple team. So that is kind of where this all formulated into. So for me, like 𝗬𝗍, 𝗪𝗏, 𝗨, AVAX, you could compare that to the likes of like a Meta or an Apple. It's like an infrastructure layer, a social layer, the bottom end tech that fuels everything else that comes into that network or that company. That is exactly, means, like I said, 𝗬𝗍 is ex-Meta and Apple employees. Arbitrum is powering Robinhood's chain. AVAX is linked with BlackRock. Solana is getting ETF approvals. These are the tech layers that are getting the most adoption, and that's just facts at this point in time. You could maybe, for tech, even add, I don't hold Link, but Chainlink is a great example of tech, right? Chainlink is arguably the highest utility coin tech play in all of crypto as far as use cases, but the price doesn't reflect it. So I'll add it there just for examples purposes, but that's nothing that I would be salivating at the mouth to go accumulate. And then just from an examples perspective as well, if you're into RWA, stuff like Ondo or estatex, a new real estate play that just launched, you guys know I do like estatex, so I will go ahead and throw that here. But whenever we look at this currently, really, I would just be looking at like REITs. Like you could go look at the different property REITs or like casino plays that, with a bunch of land, whatever the case is. But that's how you could kind of liken that. There's like 80 different REITs in the market. Just do your own research on that. But if you want an RWA play, I'd be looking at different real estate investment trusts. That is probably the best way to get exposure into real estate / RWA in the stock market. So when I'm looking through this, and personally, I hold Robinhood, Coin, NVIDIA, Palantir, Microsoft, MicroStrategy, 𝗪𝗧, MetaPlanet, Meta, Apple. I hold all of those. So just from a perspective, I also hold Tesla. I also hold Amazon. I just didn't list them in this because I didn't find direct correlations from like automated cars. You could put that in tech, I guess. So we'll add, Tesla here, for example. And then on top of that, Amazon would be like a distribution layer. So if you're thinking of that, you could look at something like an HBAR or a VeChain, like distribution type of layer. Even a chain link could apply there. So if you want to add that here, this could be like your Amazon, right? Your Hedera hash graphs, your VeChains, that type of thing. So whenever you're looking at your altcoin portfolio, take a look at what you're invested in. So you don't have to follow this exact playbook, but I think that people are overcomplicating the fact that yes, now stocks are on chain. Is it going to absorb some of the liquidity that is existing in crypto? Yes. Inevitably speaking, it will. People are going to choose to invest in Palantir or NVIDIA or Robinhood on chain over, let's just pour one out for some dead meme coins really quick, but just an example here. People now have the option to invest in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, or Landwolf or Sudang or whatever the case is. Doesn't matter. You can name any of these. You have the option to invest in this, or you can put that on-chain capital into something super reputable that makes money, that is legit, that's not going to rug pull you. There's so many different reasons why this liquidity segmentation is going to happen inevitably, where people are going to choose these reputable stocks and companies over something so risky as a meme coin. But this just elevates quality altcoins. So when you're looking at the niches, whether you're in AI, gaming, RWA, etc., you can find comparable stocks in those same niches that also elevate that. As we see right now, it seems to be an exchange bull run. Coinbase and Robinhood hitting new all-time highs. That pairs well with Hyperliquid on-chain, the highest revenue-driving exchange in all of crypto from a decentralized exchange perspective. AI coins with NVIDIA, Palantir, Microsoft. Bitcoin with the different treasury companies. Tech coins like Sui, ARB, Solana, AVAX, etc. It all correlates together now. And I think it's all about strength. There's no more of the times where you should be like, my whole portfolio consists of some 700K crypto game that's a piece of shit, to be honest. Pardon my French, but we're moving past that, right? And I think moving forward, that is way more my strategy. Now, if you're still in the 800K market caps and you think your game is the best, or you think that AI coin's gonna just rip to the moon, good for you. There's always going to be people like that, and there will inevitably be coins that still perform that way. But I do think this is a paradigm shift happening, and you need to have a plan. And I think having a correlated portfolio plan, whether it's all on chain or you use different brokers like a Charles Schwab or a Fidelity, I think this is a great way to have multiple exposure, because this could become a part of the altcoin cycle where crypto and Degen stocks in these certain niches run before even we have a broader alt season. So you want to be prepared for that, and that is how I have prepared my portfolio. So guys, let me know what you think down below. Is this going to disrupt the altcoin cycle, or do you see it as what I'm seeing it is? I want comparable stocks in crypto in my portfolio so I can ride both up during this hype cycle, especially once we get rate cuts. As I mentioned here, there's so much to be bullish about. You have to be prepared for every scenario, and I think that this right here does get you prepared for that. So guys, like the video down below if you enjoyed the content, and subscribe to the channel as well. I'll see y'all on the next one, and if I don't see y'all for the rest of the week, happy 4th of July for those who celebrate. I'll see y'all on the next one. As always, play well, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.